Greetings, Vault Hunters. It's nice to see you, and welcome to the Borderlands Journal. Before we start, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone for leaving so many kind comments on my last video. It really means a lot to me, and thank you for checking me out. And with that being said, let's get into it. In this log, I wanted to talk about one of the newer additions to the Vault Hunter lineup, that being Mozera Hayusinian Yan Lun Alamir Andrevedna, or as we'll call her, Moze. Before Moze started as a part of the Crimson Raiders, she was a very valuable Vladoff soldier, working in the mechanized infantry division called the Ursa Corps, where each soldier was given weaponized combat mechs in the form of Iron Bear. Battling in wars across 6 galaxies, she eventually gained the rank of Gunner, hence the name Moze the Gunner. In the contract she signed while enlisting, it mentioned that Moze had to complete a certain amount of missions before quitting if she wanted to claim her Iron Bear all for herself. However, Moze's superior officer Kaziak would often manipulate her into staying each time, adding more and more missions to the quota she was supposed to fulfill, even telling her things like she was responsible for the lives of the newer recruits, that they were banking on all of her experience, and without her, how would these new recruits stand a chance? That was until Darzaran Bay. After a tough firefight, Moze's squad died around her, with Vladoff assuming that, with her squad dead, she must be too. With Moze no doubt angry, but also in pain. She's lost everyone around her. However, there was one thing that stuck around, that being Iron Bear. From there, she tried to survive on her own, with the one thing she could rely on, helping her fight, make dinner, and even catching up on sleep. That is until the incredible cost of upkeep on a mech that size that Moze decided to travel to Pandora in search of treasure, becoming a Vault Hunter and joining the Crimson Raiders. While Moze is a soldier class like Axton and Roland, there are a fair share of things that are different about them, such as her interests, like reading paranormal romance novels, her worst fear being exploding bees, and my favorite trait, which is her love for bubblegum. In fact, she has a balled up piece of chewing gum for each war she's been in. She doesn't quite function well as a human being, seeing as she only really feels comfortable in the heat of battle. However, she has a romantic interest in Amara, it seems, as she has a couple lines of dialogue complimenting her siren arms, and even some idle lines mentioning that maybe she should call Amara and ask her to get some drinks and the like. So, good for her. I love seeing representation. However, she has problems functioning and doesn't think she can hold a steady relationship. Not from the trauma of losing her whole squad and becoming a one-woman army, but because she's scared of losing the militaristic structure of her life, which is really all she knows and is comfortable with. Now, what is it that she can do? If you ask me, the real question is, what can she do? Using grenades, explosives, fire, Moze can absolutely decimate her opponents, whether that be mobs or even bossing. She can do it all. Using her action skills, she can hop right into Iron Bear and destroy the battlefield. Whether she suits him up with miniguns, grenade launchers, railguns, rockets, flamethrowers, straight up fisticuffs, or even nukes. She has a strong character identity with wide versatility options, including a 4th skill tree where instead of hopping into her mech, she summons Iron Cub, a little baby bear version of Iron Bear, but be wary as this cub still packs a punch. Unlike Roland and Axton, Moze's outfit is a lot less formal than just armor or military fatigues. Sporting a military-grade helmet that she used during her time with Vladoff, some eye black paint, what seems like a choker with a bandana tucked into it, dog tags, a tight leather jacket with some pins on them along with a badge of duty, a watch on her wrist which actually functions in-game, a black Vladoff tattoo along her hip which Marissa Linty, the voice actor, also has, 2 utility belts with a skull satchel, a shin guard, and some sneakers. We also have a few more things in the back, with that being what seems like a booster or a thruster of some kind, along with a knuckle knife hanging from her back satchel. My favorite design choice about her is that the makeshift armor she wears seems to be from scrapped Iron Bear pieces, and I think that really brings it all together. But characters go through many changes during development, whether that be good or bad. So I thought it would be a good idea to go through the concept art to show what Moze could have been. Up first, we have what I call Marauder Moze, and I think she looks incredible. With the white hair instead of brown, wearing glasses and a skull bandana, she trades in her leather jacket for a more torn up cowboy-like duster. a cybernetic arm, and according to this note, she was actually dying from radiation sickness. This is such an incredibly drastic change from what we got. I actually wish we could see more of this, or if parts of this were reworked into other characters. Next up, we got Mama Moze, and geez, Gearbox has such an eye for character design. We actually got something like this in game as DLC, but it's not the exact same. Starting with the change to red hair, she also got rid of her helmet for a Ushanka hat, famously used in Russian culture, which makes sense as she works for Vladov. She has a new gray coat decorated with gold accents, and we see that she actually kept that armor on her arm from then to now. Due to the skull, I'd assume she is still dying from radiation. And the disfiguration on her face reminds me of Helena Pierce in Borderlands 1 and 2. But she was a side character, maybe they thought it'd be too much for a main Vault Hunter, despite it being a really interesting dilemma. That's where our final Moze concept comes in. Completely new with blonde hair, goggles, and a Vault logo on their arm. This design reeks of Borderlands 1 as it looks something straight out of the armory of General Knox. I'm unsure if it's a coincidence that they look so close to a Crimson Raider or if story just changed during development. This one's okay, it's not bad, it's just a bit generic in my opinion. Finally, we have the last bit of concept art, and this one's absolutely crazy. Say hello to old Iron Bear. I mean, wow, that is such a huge change. It seems like early in development they had so many ideas. The craziest one being the more humanoid Iron Bear, in which I can't tell if she would actually pilot it or if it would follow her around similar to Iron Cub. While I do like the design, I can see why they changed it. While the V on the front tries its best to convey that it's a Vladov machine, it looks so incredibly Atlas, similar to Gortys from Tales. Not only does it look different, it seems that the arms actually held weapons and they weren't adjusted to the machine like Final Iron Bear. While these concepts are cool to look at and think about, I'm still happy we got the tank girl badass that is Moze. What do you think? Would you have preferred a different Moze? Is there anything else you'd like me to cover? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning into the Borderlands Journal.